Welcome back. You're watching All Angles, and let's bring you news out of KZN now, where Cosatu in that province is using the day to raise specific concerns. These range from privatisation of Transnet at ports, outsourcing at Prasa, and of course retrenchments at Sapref. eNCA's Nqobile Madlala is in Durban and joins us now with the very latest. Good morning to you, Nqobile. And of course, these are very valid concerns that are being raised by Cosatu and their members being subjected to sometimes very difficult working conditions.
Well, Rafi, we're just struggling to hear quite clearly, but basically this is what we see behind me. Quite a number of people coming through just to sort of emphasize that voice that we heard a little earlier on from the provincial Secretary General, who was speaking to us, saying that they want to highlight the issues of the workers, especially when it comes to decent work as well as the way they are treated. But now we've got Swalosi, and I want to bring her in to sort of speak to us about those valid issues that they're going to be raising today. If you could give us an idea, Mama Uguti, what are you going to have on the memorandum today?
On the memorandum, we're raising the issues of workers from Transnet, the issues of workers, as you know, in terms of Walmart and Massmart, but importantly, it is the issues of decent work. As you know that today it is the International Decent Work Day, where we're dealing with four elements: your job creation, the rights at work, your social dialogue, and social protection. And these are issues that are affecting workers in different sectors of our economy. You would recall that the issues of decent work include the social protection, particularly safety at work. We have lost a number of public servants during COVID because government as an employer could not and failed to provide them with protective clothing. And we're saying those are issues that we should be focusing on. Secondly, in any country, an unemployed has the right to a job. And we need an economy that is going to grow and create those jobs. But once they are at work, they have a right in terms of our constitution and in terms of our Labor Relations Act to join a union of their choice and be organized and have a voice. We have instances in South Africa where I can make an example of a company ZZ2 in Limpopo, where workers are not allowed to join union. You organize them today. Tomorrow when you come back to service, it is a different workforce altogether. It has changed. Workers are afraid to join unions because employers are making them to choose. Either you belong to a trade union or you choose to have an employment. But in that, the basics of the national minimum wage are not implemented. So we're saying workers are not slaves in our country. Workers have a right to decent work, decent jobs, and decent living. You can't have, for an example now, public servants who have sacrificed their lives and lives during COVID, and every day when they wake up to service the citizens of this country, when they are at the collective bargaining, the negotiations are collapsing because the employer finds it that it is a cost to government to give them what is due to them. And we're saying those comparisons are comparisons that should be made on the basis of the material condition that exists.
And I mean, let's talk about the fact that Prasa at the moment and Transnet and what is happening there. I've seen quite a number of people that are joining you today are from Prasa and Transnet. Can you give us an idea, what is it that you're going to be saying to Prasa and Transnet about their issues?
Look, we have Satau members here, and I hope that we'll take time to also speak to them so that they can tell you in depth of the issues that are taking place there. But importantly for us, we are against any attempt to privatize the state-owned entities. And we're saying the mandate of the state-owned entities has not been realized. And you cannot then shift the blame as a result of corruption and state capture to the workers. You can't then make the workers to be the ones that carry the burden of the collapse of state-owned entities and say to them what they are demanding when they are selling their labor, and you tell them that you are unable to pay you, but we expect you to build this economy. Workers have always been the backbone of the economy, but when it comes to them receiving a decent wages, they are always at the receiving end, whilst the management of these state-owned entities are giving themselves golden handshake sometimes they give them bonuses at an expense of those that are really drilling the economy. And we're having workers here from Cosatu whom I hope that for you to get the depth of the crisis that they are faced with in their own sector, they will be able to give you in depth of that. But we're raising the issues of anti-privatization.
I mean, understanding that you just came out of the event where there was a lot of workers speaking about and highlighting these issues, would you say you have highlighted enough to government about these issues, and do you think they are going to be looking into the sort of issues you have highlighted?
It is in the interest of government to respond to the issues of workers. We are coming from a national congress. We're very clear on the socio-economic issues and how we have resolved on them. And we are at NEDREG, we are in the engagements at the level of parliament on these issues. We were on the streets on the 24th of August last month, calling on government 2 months ago to say to government and business, the private sector, that we gave commitment to a job summit in creation of employment and growing this economy. And we're saying to employers, you have been beneficiaries of this economy through tax rebates and government ensuring that with the word that you have said that if you get tax rebates, you're going to create employment. We have not seen that. It is evident that private sector in this country is on an investment strike, and we are saying and reminding them, both government and the employers, that everyone must play their role in order for us to grow this economy. It cannot be a chicken and an egg situation or a bacon and an egg situation, because workers at the dining table, they become the pigs that must be slaughtered in order for you to have the bacon. But employers are acting as the chicken, because when for the chicken to put an egg at the table, it becomes a joyous moment. Prasa, so we're saying workers have nothing else to put at the table.
So then, Mama, can we expect Cosatu to be part of that protest/strike that is going to be starting on Monday?
Indeed, Cosatu supports Satau. Remember, Satau is an affiliate of Cosatu, so we will be supporting Satau. But of course, in terms of the Labour Relations Act, we are unable to call a secondary strike. That is why we have this march today as a precursor to the march, the strike on Monday that will be starting in the sector. But you can't currently call a secondary strike where you would have the value chain coming out at the same time. But we are and we stand with workers in our country, both in the private and in the public sector, because you must also remember there is a deadlock at the level of the public sector negotiation in the bargaining council there, where workers have rejected the offer of an employer and the employer has pulled out of the negotiations, and we're saying let's go back. But you can't say police that are here, nurses, doctors, and essential services, when you want them to be at the point of service. But when they are saying to you that in order for us to be able to wake up and come to work and be of service to the people of South Africa, we need a decent wage and a decent living, and you tell them about the fiscus, whilst those that are making decisions in this country are living lives that are beyond what the workers are dealing with.
So essentially you want workers to be recognized and get that decent pay. That's Zingisolosa speaking to us about the issues of the workers. What you see behind me, Rafiwa, is a number of the workers that are hoping to be heard, just as Zingiswa has spoken to us, and they're saying that they are reiterating and letting the government know that they want that decent working conditions and they want the decent wage. And of course they are going to be delivering those memorandum. And we've just heard that Cosatu is going to be supporting going forward Satau on Monday.
These are very, very decent requests that these workers are making. These are tough times that we're living in, and it's important for the employer to realize that and accommodate us as best as possible. That is reporter Nqobile Madlala following that march for us. And of course, we'll continue to get updates from her, as well as senior reporter Aviwe Mtila, who's covering the Gauteng component of that march.